Hello and welcome to Pro Trader Strategies Market Commentary for Thursday, July the 20th. My name's Eric Wilkinson. Some of you may recognize me as the Wolfman from CNBC, Fox Business, or even the Wall Street Journal for my commentary on everything from economic to geopolitical and market analysis. Please keep in mind that everything that we talk about in these market commentaries is not a solicitation to buy or sell any of these securities or strategies. At the end of the day, we're here to teach you some different strategies that you can implement into your own portfolios, but please do that in your own way. The reason why I can't give you a recommendation on a particular stock or strategy is because I don't know your risk parameters. I don't know what's in your portfolios, and therefore what I'm doing could be counterintuitive to what you are already doing. Having that out of the way, let's get this on. Oh, one other thing. Please remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, now having that out of the way, not a whole lot of economic data across the pond. We did get retail sales out of Great Britain came in better than expected at 0.6% versus 0.4%, and they revised last month's number up from a negative 1.2% to a negative 1.1%, so not a huge revision there. Then here in the United States, we got weekly unemployment claims came in at 233,000, expected to be 245,000, so looks better in a sense that less people are claiming for or doing unemployment claims. But we did get Philly Fed manufacturing came in at 19.5, expected to be 22.4, and then we also got natural gas storages coming in at 28 billion cubic feet, expected to be 39 billion cubic feet. On to the overall markets, we've got crude oil was up quite nicely earlier this morning, but it is coming off quite a bit. As you notice, it did go up and test that trend line that I put in there and back below the 50-day moving average. So even though we're seeing these drawdowns in crude oil, which I thought was going to be a bit of a catalyst to push us higher, it seems that that is not going to necessarily be the case. And some chartists might even start to discount this up and down in here, considering it being a not necessarily a lower low anymore. Now this could end up being the lower low, and it did test that trend line, so that could be just considered another wave right here. So just keep that in mind. The 40 handle is not out of the woods yet. On to gold futures. Gold futures are pushing higher here. It's going to find major resistance at that 50 Fibonacci level because it kind of lines up with the point of control or the value area. It could just kind of sit there and act as a resistance and support where it just kind of trends right along that, but have a difficult time getting really through it. So keep that in mind going forward. Then the bonds up today, despite the fact that we're really seeing most of the equities push higher. Dow Jones was bucking the trend for the rest of the equities, but we do have this crossover happening, which is a very bullish move, if you will. Anytime the 50 goes over the 200, that is bullishness for most technical traders, and the fact of the matter is it's broken back above this, so it could be looking to make a move higher, despite the fact that the Fed is considering raising rates throughout the year. Dow Jones is what I was talking about. It is off on the day by about 16 points. We saw the E-mini S&Ps and the NASDAQ make historical highs. The Dow Jones has not done that as of yet, and finding major resistance at this value area high. But it's off on the day by about 16 points, while the NASDAQ is slightly in positive territory, making another new high. Now, these setups are starting to make me a little bit nervous because everybody out there yesterday seemed like they were talking about, oh, you're missing the boat. It's the equities are going to blast higher. And as soon as everybody starts saying that, it really starts making my wheels spin that, I'm kind of jumping on board there and being a contrarian. That really starts messing with me because I have a tendency to feel that when most people are saying something is going to go higher, that's when you get that correction. So there's just too much news out there saying that it's going to go higher. So I'm going to have a very short leash on my synthetic long in the DIA. So keep that in mind. That could be pulled at any point in time where I'm just going to get out of it. if I see any kind of kinks in the armor. Starting to see a little bit in that in the Dow Jones right now. This is kind of topping out right now. We're going to be looking for a confirmation if it sets up like this tomorrow. So going to have some dogs freaking out here for no apparent reason. But again, setup same in E-mini S&Ps. We're starting to see that same similar pattern. Beautiful when the dogs can open and close doors themselves. But anyway, E-mini S&Ps positive on the day, just slightly. You can see here that we're slightly higher on the day and above the yesterday's value area high. So if we start trading down into the value area high of yesterday, that is the shorting opportunity, as you can see, happened earlier on this morning. Now on to a few things that I wanted to talk about. Amazon out in the news again today, making big news that they've made a deal with Sears to buy the Kenmore brand, or do the Kenmore brand on Amazon, which kind of really put a shock to the Home Depots, the Lowe's, who also sell appliances. Now I want you guys to think about this for a minute. Amazon sells the appliances. So I'm going to get a washer and dryer delivered to my house. Who's hooking it up? Well, you're going to have to pay somebody to hook that up. So you're going to have to see some kind of pricing difference there, because if I go to Home Depot or Lowe's or somebody like that, they're going to come out and install that for me, and that's usually a cost that's a part of buying that appliance. So Amazon probably not going to offer to have a technician come out and install that stuff for you properly, or even move it in off of your front porch when the drone drops it off. All right, so keep that in mind. And another thing is Whirlpool getting beat up today. Maybe people starting to realize that, well, Whirlpool makes Kenmore brand. So if that is the case, Whirlpool should have probably been hurt when Sears started really having all its issues. But Whirlpool is making the Kenmore brand. That isn't going to negatively affect Whirlpool. It should actually be a positive for Whirlpool, but sometimes traders really just don't know what the hell they're doing, and nor do the algos. So in this case, Whirlpool taking a big hit today, but it actually is a positive if you think it's a positive for Amazon to be selling Kenmore, and a negative for Lowe's and Home Depot. But in the fact that, look, Whirlpool probably makes several of the brands being sold at Lowe's and Home Depot as well. But not really, probably a buying opportunity actually for Whirlpool right now. Anyway, then on to Philip Morris. This was a earnings trade that I did, and went in there in the July and did a strangle, and I sold the 117 puts and then the 125 calls, and I collected 57 cents, bought them back this morning for 20 cents. Actually, you could probably get it out a little bit better than where I got out. I can't exactly remember where I got into it, but it was off the early morning open, and those 17 puts were making me a little bit nervous, so I had to pay up for those a little bit. It's probably a little bit better now. Anyway, XRT, I took off XRT. It got to 50% of my max profit on this. If you remember, I had on the August 38 puts that I was short. I was trying to get out of this yesterday, wasn't able to reach 50% of my max profit on it, and bought them back for 15 cents today. So sold those for just a little bit over 30 cents and got out for 50% of the max profit today. Nice move today, so was able to get out of those. And then working to try and get out of XLK here. As you can see, it's moved higher as well. Short some 55 puts in there, and it's pretty close to 50% of my max profit. I sold those for about 40 cents and trying to get out for 20 right now. I think that's all of them, but I wanted to show you what was happening to like Lowe's. If you remember, I have on a short in Lowe's, where I have on the risk reversal in Lowe's, and it is getting beat up. So it's come down to the point of control for the volume. It might just kind of start to hang out there. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this one as well, so I'm not going to let that ride out too much longer, but I kind of am thinking I'm going to wait till tomorrow and see if there's any more move to the downside, which there may very well be. But because I don't know that it's really going to affect Home Depot and Lowe's, with that whole theory I talked about that Amazon isn't going to install it when they drop it off with the drone. It's really not going to be dropped off with the drone. I'm just trying to make some light of the situation. But these guys, I think, are getting a little bit overdone to the downside on this. So I'm going to have a pretty quick trigger finger on this risk reversal that I have on in Lowe's, where I might be getting out of that today and back and forth. I almost covered it, and then I toying back and forth. So usually when you start questioning yourself, that's usually the time to cover it. So I probably will do that here rather shortly. So that's about all I got for you guys today. I'll throw you one more, and that's Home Depot, because Home Depot is getting killed just the same way, as you can see here with Home Depot. Very similar chart, looks about the same. Both of those guys getting hurt because of that Amazon, and Amazon taking over the world, where Bezos used to only sell books. Now he wants to sell everything. So, and now with major appliances being another added feature. So that's all I got for you guys today. Tomorrow's webinar is going to be a really good one. So it's going to be on the straddle, which I don't usually implement. It's a nice trade, but this is going to limit our upside risk completely. I'm going to show you how to set it up so you can do a straddle, limit your upside risk if you're at all nervous about the upside, and increase your probabilities of success with that strategy. All right, so yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. If you can't take that, take it easy.